What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Chop Shop for Wednesday. We're doing the NBA here, and it's good to be all NBA here with the football over with, so we can really concentrate on the basketball now. It's always fun. So, Wednesday, Fridays, those are your biggest slates. That's probably when you're going to get the Chop Shop now from here until baseball season. So, let's get right to it. What I'm going to do is this is tournament style. This is for DraftKings. We're talking about guys who I think are going to be heavily owned in tournaments, guys you can play alternatively at lower ownership. And so, as always, you can check with RotoGrinders. We have projected ownership, and they put them out closer to game time. The closer you get to game time, the more accurate you are, the more accurate they are. So you can really get a good feel for who's going to be highly owned, and you can use that to your advantage. So let's get right to it. We'll start off on the high end. We'll start off with the highest player on the board, Russell Westbrook. Now, when I tell you that I think you can fade Westbrook in tournaments tonight, it's not me saying I think he's going to have a poor game. That's not the case. The guy's a machine. We know that. But at 12.8, the highest price on the board, for this kind of price tag, you almost need him to grab that 70-point game. You really feel like you need that big game like that. And in the NBA, for that to happen, although he does it quite frequently, it's still, things have to break your way. You can't have anything minor go against you and still expect to get to that huge mark. So there's a lot of things, foul trouble, ejection maybe, I don't know, twisting an ankle early, a blowout. All these things can really hurt Westbrook to where he doesn't get there. So I think it's a good fade at this price tag, because if guys are playing Westbrook and Westbrook doesn't have a huge game, you're almost dead money at that kind of price tag. So I'm fine with fading him. A guy I'm going to look at in this range, and there's a lot of players tonight you can choose from, but I'm going to throw Kevin Durant's name out there because it saves you over $3,000 in salary, which is going to come in huge tonight. And he's a guy who I think could put up a monster game here. He's not in the same league as Russell Westbrook, fantasy-wise, but tonight I think he can be on a similar path. As far as the thing I look for with Golden State these days is the game going to stay competitive? Because if it does, and their star players can stay out on the court for 4 full quarters fully engaged, then it brings out the best in them, and they have monster upside. This is a game on the road against a quality team I think can be competitive for all 4 quarters and keep Curry and Durant and Draymond on the floor fully engaged for the entire duration. That's going to be huge for Durant. Over the last 5 games, he's 52.3 DraftKings points per game. I would expect him to top that mark tonight, with this game having serious potential to be very closely contested the whole way through. So I like Durant in this price range. Saves you some money on Westbrook. I think you still get a great floor and some upside. And I think $3,000 in savings tonight is going to be huge for another player or two that you could upgrade down the road on your roster. Let's go to the next tier here. It's more mid-range. After the last game, Jabari Parker against Houston, I'm pretty sure Parker will be fairly chalky tonight. We have to check the ownership numbers closer to game time, but Parker I think is going to be rather chalky at this position in this price. I'm going to look at another small forward, very similar price, Carmelo Anthony tonight. I don't know what the ownership numbers are going to be, but typically when people see Dallas playing, they want to avoid the game. They're slow. They slow it up. They're bad on offense. Defense, it makes their defense look better because teams just don't need to score that many points on them to beat them. So Dallas is typically a team people are avoiding. I think Carmelo can thrive in this environment. Carmelo wants to play this game, any game, at a snail's pace. He doesn't want to get up and down the court anymore. He just wants to walk it up. He wants the ball thrown to him. He wants to sit there and dribble with it for about 10 or 15 seconds and take his own shot, whatever shot he wants. That's his game. So I think this plays in his hands. The last 3 games against Dallas, he's 41 DraftKings points per game. I would expect him to be on par with that tonight, if not exceed that. So I think for this price tag, if you're going to creep up into the 40s, you'll be more than happy with that as a fantasy owner. So I think Carmelo makes for a very, very fine play tonight, as he does a lot of nights. So moving on to the lower category. I think there's a lot of options out there tonight for people that are going to choose for value, and those guys are going to be highly owned. One guy is going to be Nerlens Noel. After the big game last night, and already having Embiid and Okafor ruled out tonight, I would expect Noel to be very heavily owned. People are going to chase that big 44, 46 point game again. I'm not saying it can't happen. There's a chance that it does happen again, but I'd say this much for him. I think last night everything kind of came together for him and fell in perfectly in place for him. Tonight, I don't think he's going to get that lucky. I think he still, at this price tag, is going to be a fine play in cash games. I think he still has a chance for upside, but he played 29 minutes last night. Even with all the injuries, he played 29 minutes. If you tell me tonight he's only going to get 29 minutes, I'll fade him 100% in tournaments. Typically, on his career, he's about a point per minute kind of guy, fantasy-wise. So if he's only going to get 29 minutes again tonight, maybe the upside isn't there in tournaments. It was last night, but like I said, everything fell into place for him. Maybe it doesn't fall into place for him tonight. Maybe he doesn't get all those block shots and steals and everything else that was going his way. So I think there's a good opportunity to fade him here. And I don't think you're going to get damaged too much because I don't see the big 40-point game coming again. So who would I play in his place? Let's stay in the same price range. And I'm not going to say Norman Powell, who I think is also going to be a popular play. In fact, I'm going to go with Powell's teammate, Terrence Ross. Powell was very good last night, played 39 minutes and jacked up 16 shots. But I think Terrence Ross has a lot more upside at $4,500 on DraftKings. Last night, he dropped 28 DraftKings points. He got about 30 minutes of action. These guys are filling in for DeRozan. I think tonight on a back-to-back, we could see a lot more Terrence Ross. And if things break his way and the shots start falling early, Ross could have a monster game today. So I'm liking me some Terrence Ross. I think that he's a good swerve. I think he'll go very, very under-owned in comparison to Noel and Powell. So Terrence Ross with a chance for a big game tonight and a good little matchup here. I'm going to take that. So with that being said, guys, we're done with the Chop Shop here for this Wednesday. Good luck to you in all your tournaments tonight, and I'll be back on Friday with some more.